Hello again and welcome back to Paul's Racing Channel, to the Ultimate Racing League. So we move on to race 3 from round 6 of the Super Touring Car Championship from League 3. So, well, a bit of a dampener, wasn't it? Race 2, race 3, as you can see, still the same. Rain's not letting up at all. Probably actually got a little bit worse since then. Fair play to the crowds, they've stayed to watch the action. I mean, if it was me, I probably would have buggered off home, if I'm honest. I don't do wet and cold, I'm afraid. So, yeah, brave souls out there watching this. So, this is the third 30-minute race, remember. So, we've got the rain for a little bit longer this time. So, it should be even more fun. In fairness to the drivers, they do really well in race 2. No real major disasters in this weather. Pretty good racing, actually. So, let's hope for more of the same here. So, reverse grid, as I say. So, let's go through that now. Here we go. We've got Max on pole position, Biggie in second, Stealth in third, Sideways in fourth, Potsy fifth, Graham in sixth, Vex in seventh, Aaron in eighth, Slowpoke ninth, Firepower 10th, Aussie 11th, Brisbane in 12th, Phil Mack in 13th, and M. Bailey in 14th. Here we go then. As usual, watch those lights. Start by Biggie. Max was a bit slow off the line. Stealth's going through the middle of them, going up here to turn 1. Stealth does take that lead at the moment by a nose. Oh, but he's run wide as Stealth is going to lose some spots now. It goes right out into the overrun area there. A few of them just getting out there, but that's understandable as they all tippy-toe it round that turn 1. So Max still leading it with Biggie up the outside now. Who's going to be brave enough to go through Eau Rouge here? Well, Max has decided he's going to take up the lead. I think Biggie might have just said, you have it, mate. Aaron up to third. Oh, and away goes Max. And, well, he did take it, didn't he, for, well, about 5 seconds. And then he's right at the back again as he just waits for Brisbane. There he goes. Brisbane at the back there, obviously, starting, oh no, they're sideways, so don't know what's happening there. Obviously didn't get a good start. Perhaps he stalled it, I think. So Max all the way to the back now, up to the chicane, and Aaron up the inside, gives Biggie a little nudge. Might have been a bit of oversteer, the weather's obviously a factor there, but Aaron then takes up that lead. So, had a win already here tonight, as Aaron, so I was looking for a double. Biggie though, going with him in second. Then Slowpoke to third, Phil Mack up into, well, third now actually, as Slowpoke goes wide. He's going to lose that spot to Bailey as well, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah, and Bailey goes up the outside. It's going to be still on the outside as they come round the left-hander, but he makes that stick. Ozzy's going to follow through as well. Not follow through in that sense, but, or does he? Well, not quite, no. Remains behind Slowpoke. And then we've got Potsy snipping around right up the back of Aussie, and there's Vex, little tag, and he just got touched. Not sure who touched him now. Just see it in the back of the shot there. Back end just got touched, I think, and it spun him round. So that's unfortunate. Don't know who that was. Sideways now, giving him a little hurry up, my lad, along there. Sideways in 13th. Max always down to, or back to 14th, and always, I shouldn't say that. But Aaron creeping away ahead there. Phil Mack up to second. Then Bailey, Slowpoke, Biggie down to 5th now with Aussie behind him in 6th. And then Potsy still sniffing around behind the scenes there in 7th. So Potsy is on the back of the train. First, this front 7. As Biggie goes out wide again. Potsy's up the inside. Got that done. So Potsy gains a spot up to 6th place. He goes as they come through the final chicane. And who's that going off? That's Phil Mack. He's had a somewhat disaster there. It's been reset. Where's he gone? Can't see him. He's just come back on there, just ahead of his teammate. So Phil Mack must have been a braking incident there, or lack of. Back to 7th for him. Got Bailey there up to 2nd, who's obviously got the win in race 2, didn't he? So our 2 winners from this round so far, Aaron and Bailey. 1st and 2nd here in race 3. Up for Eau Rouge, Slowpoke. actually, he's got rid of that lag, hasn't he, at last? My goodness me, Slowpoke, you're looking good, my man. No more of that jumpy stuff. Fingers crossed that might be the end of that. With the last couple of rounds coming up for us to the end of the championship. Aussie in fourth. Remember, there's a stop as well, just always remind you of that. So these guys will have to stop, if not for tyres, certain for fuel I would have thought. Having said that, we'll have to wait and see, being that it is wet. Might not be quite as bad. Oh, half a second penalty for Slowpoke. Didn't see why that was, must have been track limits. Aussie up to third, Slowpoke trying to get back to third. I think he was in third actually, again ran wide as Phil Mack gives him a little tag, goes up the outside of Slowpoke as they come down the hill to this left-hander. Gets that done, does Phil, so up to fourth now, so after his little off at the chicane, he's worked his way up through the field and back to fourth spot. He dropped down to about seventh, didn't he? Seventh or eighth, so he's made up a few spots as Aussie goes well out wide there, but no dramas. That's what he's there for at the end of the day, and in his weathers, his treacherous Slowpoke. Oh, well, that's not the line. Took a bit too much curb, just ahead of his teammate. Now what's he going to do? He's going to let his teammate through. Being that he's got that penalty to take, which was just around his next sector. Biggie down to seventh, and then we've got Brisbane attacking there. In what, ninth, just attacking Firepower, who's in 10th place. Is Potsy surely going to get that place off his teammate here? About now, there you go. And Biggie might also following through. No, Slowpoke just manages to keep ahead. Now he'll see what he can do. Keep them Phil behind him. Graham up in 8th, haven't seen a lot of him so far, have we? But there he is in 8th place, battling it out with our championship leader, Brisbane, in 9th spot. Oh, Biggie. As they carefully go through the chicane. Got to watch them back ends flipping out all nicely through there. Firepower in 10th, attacking Brisbane, or trying to latch onto the back of him anyway, and then there's a gap back then to Vex after he's off. He's got back up to speed. In 11th spot, sideways in 12th, Stealth back to 13th after his mega start. Got into the lead, didn't he? Ran wide, and well, it's been a backwards roller since then. And then Max at the back in 14th with a penalty as well. Vex with that fastest lap as well at the moment, a 2:51.066. But our leaders coming up through the S's now. Aaron and then Bailey looking good. Got a lovely gap back to Phil in 3rd spot. Only 7 minutes in though. Bailey gone back to the traditional red colour of the car. Remember he had that black livery, didn't he, last time round, which I prefer rather than that red one. My personal preference. There's Phil Mack. Surprisingly at the moment, with Brisbane back down in 7th, okay, there's a long way to go. With Aaron and Bailey having that maximum points in races 1 and 2, he'll be feeling a little bit left out, and we know that he's a good finisher in these races, is Brisbane, so it's just about what he can do. Can he get his way through? Of course there's plenty of time, yeah, and with the stop as well, so maybe he's got something planned. He makes up another spot on Slowpoke, so he's up to 6th place now, is Brisbane. So maybe just got some sort of strategy planned. Biggie has a little moment. Oh, and that's not the way you drift it around there, Biggie. And having that half a second's not going to help as he drops it all the way back down. He could go behind Stealth, and he will go behind Stealth once he gets that penalty off, and Stealth will get that 12th off him. Stealth with pace. Oh, went to go on the outside and had to switch it back. Oh, actually, I don't know what happened there. What happened? I think Stealth got it out of first shape. It looked like he was well up the side of Biggie at that point. And I think he just had to adjust his position on the track. because Biggie was there in front of him, and suddenly I think his back end nearly went out, and that was the end of that. He had to kind of let off, shall we say. Now he's still and Biggie another half a second. He's just got one off. Don't think it's the same one. So again, must be just taking that bus stop area a little bit too wide, maybe. But it's all as it was there. Now, how's his leaders doing? Well, Aaron's still out in front with Bailey still in second, but it does look like Aaron has pulled the pin a little bit. In that NSX. Actually, it looks like there's a nice dry line forming now, doesn't it? It's not. The weather actually has cleared up, thankfully, so maybe that is the end of the rain. So it started. Well, we've had enough rain, haven't we, over the course of, look at the puddles there, over the course of races 2 and 3. But thankfully, with 10 minutes gone, looks like actually it might have cleared up and a bit of brightness coming through. We'll see. There's a dry line though, so these boys will presumably want to be sticking to that, the ones on the intermediates, but it's all about what they're going to do when it changes, when the pit stop happens. Are they going to go back onto the racing compounds? If it's a dry line there, why not? If it stays like this, why not? Just don't want to be touching them curbs too much. There's Bailey and Phil Mack is all of a sudden caught up with Bailey, and Bailey goes wide, and Phil Mack's going to take that second place. There you go. And well, clearly that Ferrari's got some pace with this drying track, because he was some way back, wasn't he, behind Bailey? Now, whether Bailey had a moment somewhere, I don't know, but obviously had a moment then that we see, but that was only a running wide, wasn't it? So let's keep an eye on Phil Mack, because he's got some pace going, because he's already leaving M Bailey behind, and I tell you what, he could get himself up behind Aaron here, the way it's going, especially with the amount of time left. Ferrari looks pretty settled out there at the moment. Okay, a little bit of lag, of course. We see that last time, didn't we? So maybe the lag from Slowpoke has gone over to Phil. Maybe it's catching. So comes through that final chicane. Phil in second, Bailey there in third. He won't be too disappointed with that. I know there's still a long way to go, as I keep saying, but having had a win tonight already, he can keep himself in that top 3. That'd be fine. Aussie there in 4th, but I think he's being closed in. He is by Brisbane, who's now up to 5th, and Potsy's going with him as well. I'm impressed with Potsy here, up to 6th place. So he's deciding, you know what, let's see how this championship leader does it. Let's have a watch of his lines, shall we? So he's going to sit there and just watch Brisbane, who, as I say, is up to 5th place, just behind Aussie in 4th. Excuse me. Oh, now Potsy, look at this from Potsy, right up behind Brisbane on. I'll tell you what, that's definitely a drying track. Look at the slip that he got there, Potsy, as he makes his way up, past Brisbane on the outside. Good pass. Brisbane just sits in behind him now, surely not going to go up the inside, or is he? He will. Potsy, see him coming, give him loads of space. So, little retaliation there from Brisbane. The voice sounds different here on this video, by the way, from videos 1 and 2. It's because since I've done those, I've been under the weather a little bit, so sort of getting over some flu-y crap thing that's been flying around that I picked up. So that's why I might sound a little bit different on this one. But anyway, back to this racing. You don't worry about my voice, are you? So Brisbane 5th place, Potsy 6th, Vex up into 7th now. Definitely picked up, but you can see automatically the pace has picked up, obviously, of the cars now with that drying track. Oh, runs it a bit wide, does he? Oh no, it's okay. I thought he looked like he was running it well wide there for a second, but no, that's just a camera shot. Graham in 8th place, head of Sideways in 9th, and then Slowpoke 10th. Firepower in 11th behind him. Now we're obviously approaching the halfway mark. It's about now as Sideways goes up the inside of Graham, sorry, and Slowpoke's going with him, so Graham's sticking it out there on the outside, but might get done again, although he is on the inside of Slowpoke here, so actually he might just keep that 9th place as it is. Oh, look at this, close. This is really great racing. All 4 Firepowers in it on it as well. Look at these 4. Now, steady boys, as we approach this chicane. We all know what happens. Oh, yes, we've got a couple coming in. So Brisbane and Potsy are in. I don't know why I went to them. That's where I wanted to be. Here we go, Sideways. Oh, and that's Firepower darting in. So Firepower's in as well. So 4 becomes 3. Sideways in 8th place. Graham in 9th. Slowpoke 10th. So we've got a few of the stoppers coming in now. Stealth in 12th. He's coming in as well. So yeah, as I said, this is about time, about a quarter of an hour mark. People decide that it's time to come in. So it'll be interesting to see what they come out on. We watch our leader who stayed out. So I reckon a lot of these changing tyres probably may not have considered changing them, but obviously with the sun now coming out, as you can see, it just throws another little curveball into this strategy. Got to go with the racing compounds now, the softs or the mediums, whatever it is you think's best. No good going on these intermediates and wet tyres anymore, not unless you're going to be searching for those puddles. So 2nd for Phil, Bailey in 3rd, and hasn't got at all anywhere at all on his tyres, has he? Surely they're not surely he didn't come. I didn't know if he came in or not. Actually, didn't see. He could have gone in and kept them on. Because if they're the same set he started with, then they're in pretty good shape, aren't they? To be fair, we'll have a watch of that, see if he does come in. There's Aussie with a 5 second, not 5 second, half a second penalty even. Definitely haven't come in, these guys, so intermediates. So Vex in 5th. So I know that Sideways also in 6th place hasn't come in. So I think the first ones was probably Brisbane and Firepower and all that, wasn't it, that came in. So 6th for Sideways. Graham 7th, Slowpoke 8th. Here's Brisbane. Now, yeah, here we go. There's your first racing stops. Oh, and whoa, maybe not. No, maybe they don't work out there. It's certainly not out that part. So 9th place as he drops all the way back 10th. So softs there didn't work, did they? Oh, and he's struggling to get it back on, but that's just because of the wet surface outside of that dry line. That was a bit risky, that. So back to 10th. So that's a disaster for him. Potsy got past him and he came in, didn't he? No, he didn't. Or did he? Oh, yeah, he's staying out on the intermediates. Potsy's staying out. He's obviously really fueled, but he's staying out on them intermediates. So there you go. Excuse me. The intermediates, he's decided to stay on there. So maybe these guys will stay on them. I mean, obviously we just see what Brisbane done. There's Firepower. What did he go? He went in and he stayed on them. So, well, okay, so they are staying on it. So Firepower went with the softs, and I think that answers our questions, doesn't it? Second time he's been off in as many corners, so maybe soft wasn't quite the way to do it. As Max is now catching him up with it, although he's on wets and he's got a second penalty there. But Brisbane struggling on those softs at the moment. Stealth decided on softs though as well. Down in 13th. So maybe it's just a Jag who's struggling on him. Whatever it is. He's had 2 big offs there, hasn't he? Big E, what about him? Well, he's off and he's on the softs as well, and that's same place, I think, actually, as where Brisbane went off. So let's see then. So we've got Bailey now, who's our leader. Who I don't think has come in. Might be wrong. If he hasn't, he's got a couple of minutes. He's got to come in. This will be his final chance if he hasn't. Slowpoke. Second place now with Graham up into 3rd. That was Aaron, but this is Graham. Same car. Here's Aaron in 4th. He's on the softs. Phil Mack on softs. So yeah, there's a few come out in the softs. So Brisbane just struggling with them there. So he's not going to get much out of this race, is he, with 12 minutes left. So it's probably the first time out this entire championship as Phil goes for a bit of a ride and caught that curb and all that wet dew and dampness out there. Not what you want on your soft tyres. As the two NSXs fight it out, and I think Graham's going to let Aaron go past just like that. There you go. He knows the score in terms of the championship points, so a bit of teamwork there as Aaron goes up to third place. Slowpoke just ahead of him. But Bailey still out in the lead, and let's see, does he come in? Yeah, I didn't think he had. I just had that feeling that he had to come in. Pit lane will close in approximately 30 seconds. Slowpoke then will take up the lead, or should do. Although, having said that, I don't know if he's coming either. I don't know where I am. I just know we're at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, and we're watching a motor race for 30 minutes. No, he's staying out, so I think he did go in Slowpoke, so he's going to be having another lap of it. So Slowpoke then takes up that lead. Sorry for that silence there for a second, but what was I saying? I'm trying to do a bit of work, get distracted by the family, wanting stuff, and they know that I'm doing stuff. So apologies for that. So Slowpoke then, let's get back to this racing. Oh, and Aaron going up the outside of Slowpoke. Oh, and the Slowpoke just let him go past there, although he was in all that wet puddle there, wasn't he, Slowpoke? I don't think he fancied slamming on his brakes on that. So Aaron it is who goes through, so he could get a second victory here then, Aaron. Slowpoke with 21-22 minutes gone in second place. Graham in a great third at the moment, so Graham up there looking for a podium finish here, and why not? Got a lovely gap back then to Bailey. They've all come in now. Well, they can't go in anyway, the pit lane's closed. So if you haven't been in, then tough luck, and probably get points penalty for that if you haven't. But Bailey there in fourth. I'm not sure at this stage. I'm not going to say it actually. But fourth place for Bailey. Potsy in fifth. Slowpoke's coming in, so he, pit lane shut, so I don't quite know why he's coming in. Is it to do with fuel, maybe? It's got to be. Graham's in as well. What's he's like? Fuel, yeah, maybe. Perhaps they're just running out of fuel, but that means Potsy, who's in fifth at the moment, he might get up into them top three spots now then, with Vex chasing him down, so he could be in the top four as well, could Vex, by the time they come round turn one. They're there already, so there you go. Potsy third, Vex in fourth. Now there could be a little battle here for that final podium spot to the end, couldn't we? Could be a good one as well. So come down the hill, heading towards Eau Rouge. Potsy is in third. Slowpoke's deciding to go with softs for these last few minutes. Sliding out there goes Potsy. Vex said, I'm going with you, buddy. And he could get into that slip. It could take him up here at the S's. Let's see. He's a little bit behind, but he's, yeah, just run out of track there. That had been a couple of 100 metres more on that straight. He would have had him, but sits up behind Potsy. So we've still got Aaron in front in first, Bailey in second, Potsy here in third, and Vex fourth. It's a little what you're watching at the moment. There's a little battle going on. Vex still with the fastest lap, 2:30, a different lap time, but still Vex 2:35.113, and no Vex. Well, it looked fantastic, mate, but that might be your third out the window. Lovely little pirouette. There's Phil Mack also. Has he gone out the third Burton? I think he's at the moment. He's dropping all the way down the field here. So yes, he's gone somewhere. Because Firepower's up the fourth. There he is back there. He had a moment. I see it in the top of the screen. Lost him on camera. But he's just lost a spot or two to Firepower and Slowpoke. That's 5th and 6th place. So Vex with his little mistake. As Slowpoke has a look at Firepower. No, not quite. Firepower still in 5th, runs it a bit wide. He's staying out on that wet stuff. Slowpoke's through on the outside. That looked like a bit of a given to me from Firepower, but Phil Max now back on the back of his teammate. So the two Ferraris, what's Firepower going to do here? I'd imagine he'll let him through as well. Oh, he goes out wide. You don't need that much room, Firepower, but well played to you. So back to 7th goes Firepower. How's our leaders doing? Let's just have a quick look. There's Aaron. Well clear with 5 minutes left. Looks like he's secured this one. And there's Bailey, and he's a long way back, isn't he? Wow, he's still in second, but my goodness, Aaron's pulled that pin, that's for sure. He's definitely looking for a double here. Bailey in second place, but that's a long way back. Almost the whole back straight. Well, it is over the back straight distance. Potsy's still holding off Vex in third. In fact, Vex has really got back onto the back of him, hasn't he, after his little off. So Vex still looking for that third place. I didn't think it was possible after he went off. And there he goes. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. There he goes. Vex is there in third place. Now, can Potsy get him straight back here? No. Vex covered it a little bit. It just went a little bit off to the right hand side, did Vex, just to cover that inside line. So Potsy to 4th place. This battle's still on, isn't it? I think Vex clearly got a bit more pace than what Potsy has, even after that spin as well. So Vex might actually get that podium spot as the way it's going. Phil's there, another one who had a little pirouette moment. In 5th place, think that might be all he's going to get here for Phil. Although, depends on how much pace Potsy's losing against what Phil's got. Slowpoke in 6th, Firepower in 7th. Let's go through this field. Oh, Graham all the way back to 8th. And he was up there, wasn't he, in 3rd spot, and he's just dropped back to 8th now. Oh, he's had a moment. Look at the scuffs on the back of that rear quarter. Graham, I really was hoping he was going to get your podium there, mate. Aussie in 9th. Not one of his best ones here. Although conditions weren't exactly the best, were they? But there you go. Drivers are here to be tested. Brisbane in 10th, unusually in 10th. Don't see him back here very often, do we? But you know what? He's got a healthy enough lead in the championship. I don't think, if I'm honest, it's going to make that much of a difference. Obviously, he's going to be losing points. But in terms of people catching him, I'm not sure it's going to make too much difference there. Sideways in 11th. It's lovely now to see the sun out, but it's a bit too late, isn't it? Had we had that in the last couple of races, or the last race as well, would have been perfect. But there you go. It is what it is. Stealth in 12th. He always likes that 12th, doesn't he? It sort of rhymes with stealth and 12th. I've said it before. So he does like that number. Biggie in 13th. Max, we know, in 14th spot. Final minute and a half. our leader Aaron. Where is he on track? Yeah, probably maybe get one more lap in here. Actually, probably won't as it goes with a minute left. Don't think it's gonna be longer than a minute to get around now, I think. As we watch him coming round to start the final sector. So looks like he's got a double here tonight, Aaron. Not going to make a mistake now. He came in one of the ones to switch to the soft compound. It's worked well for him. He's got absolutely loads of pace in comparison with some of the other drivers out there on those tyres. As we watch him now come through up towards the final chicane. And actually he might get another lap in. We've only got 10 seconds left. So he might actually just get another one in, I'm not too sure. Depends on how quick he can get around these final corners, maybe not. Might just get it, or maybe not. No, he will get it. That is the final lap. Congratulations to Aaron, a double there. So 2 wins there tonight. Bailey, he's got up to second, hasn't he, as well? So he'll be happy with that. A victory and a second for Bailey. And them two, of course, are the ones that are fighting, aren't they, for that second and third spot in the championship. So they're still close as Vex now up in the third. It's going to take the third place. Glad or good to see Vex up there on that podium. As he comes across the line, congratulations to Vex. Flash the lights, yeah, well done mate, Phil Mack. I don't think he's got a hell of a lot of lag on. Apart from that lag, I don't think he's going to be too disappointed really with the 4th spot. Well, actually, probably will be. There's Potsy coming in 5th. Good for Potsy in 5th place, just ahead of his teammate in 6th. So 5th for Potsy, 6th for Slowpoke. Graham coming in 7th. I thought I was going to get more from Graham there. He done well in the end. 7th's good. He was up there, wasn't he? And I was really hoping that he was going to get on that podium. Well done, Graham. Aussie will just hold off Brisbane in 8th. So Brisbane in 9th, Firepower coming in 10th spot. Sideways some way back will come in 11th. Actually, M. Bailey got that fastest lap off of Vex in the end at 2:28.433. As Sideways comes over in 11th spot. 12th for Stealth. Biggie will come in 13th. And then rounding off the field, we have Max in 14th. So that is your round 6 here from Spa in Belgium. We move on to round 7 next time, and we head off to Spain, to the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona. So hope you can join me then for round 7. Glad you watched me here. Hope you enjoyed it. See you again soon, and goodbye for now.